What do you need to know when you're going to embark on the Norwegian Encore out of the port of Miami? What should you do to ensure a smooth transition from land to sea?
Hello, welcome to our channel, Kate and Tim's Excellent Adventures Cruise Edition. So, Embarkment. This is that day that you are going to be getting on to your cruise ship. There's quite a few things that you should do prior to even getting to Miami to keep yourself organized and just make it a super smooth day for you.
The first thing you should do is watch the safety check video in your email.
They will send it to you numerous times, even after you have viewed it.
Before you get to Miami, you should also consider printing out your boarding pass and printing out your luggage tags.
Yes, I would say this is essential to do prior to leaving your house. Just make sure you have tags for every piece of luggage that you are going to give to the port when you arrive, so that they know where to drop off your luggage. So we each had one large luggage and then one smaller, like carry-on type luggage. So we had 4 tags that we printed out, and we also bought little plastic covers, like little tag holders, I guess you would call them, that we were able to print out our tags, fill them out, put them in these holders, and then we were able to then fasten them onto our luggage.
They had little metal loops on them, metal wire loops, so it was going to be secure. Now, I did notice in the hallways of our cruise that people were able to successfully tape and or staple their luggage tags onto their luggage, and that was fine. But the little extra piece of security and peace of mind was worth it, just to have the little plastic luggage holders.
Yeah, and for us, I was like, let's just get these. They were very inexpensive, and you got 6 of them in a pack, so we had plenty of them, and they were easy to pack because obviously we didn't have those on until literally the day of the cruise. And we just had them ready to go. I already put all of the tags inside of the plastic holders. So then all we had to do the day of before we left the hotel was fasten them to our luggage. And it just made it just easier. We didn't have to worry about, oh, we forgot tape, or we forgot a stapler, or, oh, we have to go down to the desk at the hotel. Like we were ready to go. And then in my carry-on, like my purse type thing that I brought, I just basically had a folder envelope that had our
boarding
passes in there. And also I just threw in our passports in there as well. So then we just knew where everything was, especially since we were hanging out in Miami for 3 days prior to getting onto the ship. So then we weren't like, oh my gosh, where is it? It was just right there.
Right there. It was great. So we've got to provide the cruise provider with embarkation times. Now, this is basically telling the cruise ship provider that you're not going to be at the cruise ship dock before this time. And we chose between 12 and 12:30, and that basically said we're not going to arrive before noon. If we are a little bit late, that's okay. And stay to the end of the video as to why everything worked out in the end. But we did have ourselves a little bit of a nightmare scenario.
Right. So yeah, we chose that 12 to 12:30 like time frame. But if we arrived at 1 o'clock, it would not have been a problem. So don't worry if you are late. Just don't be late in the sense of like 4 o'clock is the time that you're leaving. Don't be that late.
They want you on the boat 2 hours prior to leaving. So we chose 12 to 12:30 because that gave us quite a bit of a window between 12:30 and 2 p.m.
Yes.
So we've talked about what you need to do before you arrive in Miami, and when you're in Miami and you're waiting for your Uber, Lyft, taxi, other ground transportation to take you to the cruise ship dock, now is a good time to make sure that you have your luggage tags on, you have your boarding pass and your passport ready to go.
Yes. And then what you want to do is dress like you're going to dress to be on a cruise. So when you get to the cruise port and you hand over your luggage, you're not going to get that luggage until like about the time that you're going to leave. So what we did is we put on our bathing suits and then some clothes, easy to take off clothes, like a dress or something like that for me, that would be easy to take on and off. So we were ready to hang out by the pool or hang out just on the sun deck.
Or in a hot tub, or, maybe even at just a poolside bar. Because
Yes.
you've got some time from the time you get on the boat to when your room is ready. So keep that in mind when you're getting dressed for it. Be dressed for your vacation because that's where you're going.
Once we got to the port and we were going to go through security and get onto the boat.
We had to hand our luggage over to the porter.
Yes.
And they do ask, can you help us out a little bit? And what he's asking for is a tip. And it's customary to leave a tip. We tipped $5 per bag because, well, frankly, we had 4 bags and the smallest bill I had was a 20. It's like, okay, well, here you go, sir.
Yes. And we were happy. He was very nice and like, hey, come on over here. We'll get you like helped. Mm-hmm. So it was like super easy to just, it's a little chaotic there. Not going to lie. It's pretty chaotic going because there's a bunch of ships and everyone is trying to get on their ship. So trying to find your ship and everything can be just a little nerve-wracking, especially if you've never done it. Like, we had never been there before to do that, so it was a little nerve-wracking. But he was really nice, like, come on over here, I'll help you. And so giving him a $20 tip was to me, was cheap. Yeah.
And he basically said, okay, what you're going to want to do now is go through those doors over there. And after that, there were signs telling us where to go. And basically, these are the lines you stand in. These are the escalators you go up. And then there will be some security when you get to the desk.
Yes. So we went through, before we even got upstairs to go through like actual security, we went through like almost like a customs type security. And nowadays what it is that you just show up and you show your face and they basically take a photo, and as long as you're not on some kind of list, I think you're good. It turned like a green light comes on and they say go ahead. So that was very easy. And then when we went upstairs and got to the security, there was a restroom.
Yes.
And I know I had to use it. I can't remember if you did, but
I did not.
I went in, used that because I wasn't sure how long everything was going to take. And then it's got almost like security at the airport.
Right down to don't take any liquids past this point. And
yes.
That's convenient because that's where the restroom is. So if you needed to dump your water bottle out, there was a water fountain right there.
So yeah, you don't have to take your shoes off or anything like the airport, but you put your stuff on a belt, you go through a metal detector type thing, and again, though, it was super easy.
And after that, you wait in line for your turn, and then you walk up, and the I don't know if the right word is gate attendant, but agent. Yeah, the gate agent will then ask you for your boarding passes and your passport. They'll take those in the back, and then they come back with your passport and your room keys.
Yeah, so that was great. So you get your room key before you board. So we were actually wished that we would have had our lanyards on us. We had packed them in our suitcase. It wasn't a huge deal, but it would have been nice just to be able to stick our card into our lanyard instead of our pocket, just so we don't lose it.
Right.
But it was great that we were ready to go in that sense, and we never had to show our passport again on the cruise. So those just went into our room safe once we got to the room.
All right. So now, once you've gotten past security, you've got your room keys, you're on the boat. You scan your room key in, and they welcome you aboard, and you are now on your vacation, but you're not quite on vacation just yet. The first thing you're going to notice when you get on board is that it will seem like it's pure chaos. Now, we mentioned watching the safety video at the beginning of the video. Now what you're going to do is go to your muster station, and your muster station will be listed on your room key. And for us, it was at the main theater at the front of the boat on the 7th deck. So we made our way from the 4th deck. We went up the stairs to the 7th deck, and they scanned our card once. We listened to the safety briefing that they had given us there, which was a little bit different than the safety briefing we had gotten on the video. And then they scanned our cards again and said, there, you're done. And
yeah, and so if there was ever an emergency, we knew that's where we would go. We would always go to the theater if there was an emergency. We never had to do that. There was never an emergency, thank God. Yeah, but we knew that's where we went, and we got that checked off because you have to do that,
or the ship doesn't sail.
Right. So you don't want to be that person making people wait.
Nope. Now, I will tell you now that even if you're there at, 2 o'clock when the boat's getting ready to leave, there's a really good chance your room's not going to be ready yet.
This is why we were dressed the way we were, because we knew we weren't going to be able to get into our room or have our luggage.
Nope. So what we did was we went to the observation lounge on the 15th deck. It's incredibly quiet there. On the first day, it's quiet. It can get a little bit loud once other people figure out this little secret. But they don't have a full buffet. It's just snacks, juice, coffee, some fruit. The snacks are some fruit, and they are rolls and stuff like that.
There also is a bar in the observation deck, so if you are like, I'm ready for a drink, and you don't want to be outdoors yet, and you maybe want that snack, you can also grab yourself a drink as well.
And then you can go and find yourself a chair next to a window and look out at the Port of Miami. Now, depending on which side of the ship you're on, you're either looking at containers being unloaded onto the deck, or you're looking at the causeway that takes you to South Beach.
Right. And one thing we would definitely say is that we would definitely recommend doing what we just said, because we went through the local, which is an amazing spot on the ship, but everyone that day was there because it's center, it's right there. They have food, they have drinks. So everyone was just like stopping and getting their drinks and food there, where when we went up to the observation deck, like Tim said, it was very quiet, not that many people. We were able to grab a snack, grab a drink, hang out for a little bit, and just kind of be like, oh my gosh, we're on a boat.
And we kind of needed that quiet after some of the chaos that we had earlier that we will tell you about at the end of this video.
Yes.
So we also had Vibe Beach Pass access, so we went ahead and checked that out after we got our bearings straight and got our bit of relaxation, and we went up to the Vibe Beach Club, and we had a mudslide, and I had one of their specialty beers that commemorates, Norwegian 66.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but, I was like, it's hot outside. Coronas sound really good when it's hot.
And again, we never been on the Norwegian Encore. We never been on a Norwegian Cruise Line, but we had seen about the Vibe Beach Club and how people all said they recommended it, especially if you don't have kids. So it is an adult-only area. It is more it's another extra price per person for the week, but we definitely would recommend it, and we would do it again, because even though there's no pool there is a hot tub, and there's also some misters. But the biggest thing is that you had your own bar there, and you also always had a chair.
Always had a chair to sit down in.
Yeah, so we enjoyed that. You didn't have to fight for chairs. It was very minimal line to get a drink.
It was.
So we would recommend that, and so that's what we did. We went up and had our first drink to celebrate being on vacation on the Norwegian Encore.
That was. And we needed that drink after our little nightmare scenario with ground transportation.
Yes.
So we had taken a lift from the Grace in Miami to the cruise ship dock. And our driver paid more attention to her app than the signs and the arrows painted on the road telling you where to go.
Yes. So getting to the dock, she was fine. Fine. Like, we didn't see any red flags yet. It was once you were getting off and you were getting into the ports. And like we said, there are a lot of ships that are there. So they have different, like, A, B, C, D. Like, that's how you find your ship. And we knew that we were on B.
We were on B, and we passed right by it.
Yes.
And she said, this app is crazy. So we made another lap, and we made the approach. And I'm telling her, you need to be in this lane, and she's not paying attention.
So we really kind of not handled her in physical way, but we kind of had to manhandle her vocally to be like, get over, go this way, turn this way, because she just wasn't paying attention to the signs. She was watching her app, and so then it was kind of making her not know where to go.
Right.
So I guess, especially if you've never been, I don't know. We didn't know, that we didn't find a Lyft driver. There's nothing in the app that says, I have been to the port before. So just know for you to, like, kind of watch what's going on, and maybe leave a little earlier so you're not worried. In that sense, we weren't, like, super concerned. Like, we knew we weren't going to, like, miss our ship.
Right. We had plenty of time. Again,
but our third time around, we were like,
just stop the car.
Just stop. Yeah.
So we get off at, we're supposed to stop at Port B, which is the Norwegian port. We stopped her at Port C, which was the MSC Cruises port.
Because she'd already passed it.
She'd already passed
it again.
And the porter for MSC was really nice, and he goes, hey guys, this is the wrong boat. And we just said, we know, we need to get out of this car. And he just smiled and said, I understand.
And said, head that way.
Walk between those two palm trees, and you'll be where you need to be. And I was like, thank you, sir. So we had to walk basically a cruise ship's length back to our cruise ship port. And that's where we met our wonderful porter at the Norwegian dock, and I felt like I was at ease once we got to there.
Yeah, once he was like, hey guys, come on over here, I'll help you, we were good.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
But just getting there and having an inexperienced Uber driver.
It was just a little stressful.
But, I mean, if that's the worst thing that happens on a vacation, I think you're doing okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're going around the cruise ship dock, making a loop, and I felt like Clark Griswold. Hey, kids, Big Ben, Parliament, again. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And if you're interested in the lanyards or the luggage tags that we talked about, we'll have some affiliate links down below. And affiliate links basically mean that these go to Amazon, and if you make a purchase after clicking one of those links, we might get a small cut, and we do appreciate that. But it is at no additional cost to you.
Thank you for watching. Bye.